my grandmother asked me, she was like, what are you going to tell your aunties?
What am I going
You
to tell
get
my aunties?
I was living in her house. So my question was, for you, Kawa? She's like, me, I'm fine. I said,
I don't know about that things are on my body.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an adult.
Exactly. At that point, to be fair, I created my brand in the family a long time ago. But you see, again, even when I'm talking about it, still I'm thinking about Baswaza.
Yeah.
You get? Because again,
it's like so deeply ingrained in like who we are.
Whether we like it or not.
Everything.
Everything. Hi, we are back. Hi. Welcome back to She Knows Best. This is episode 5. Oh my God, guys.
A whole 5 episodes.
We're actually podcasters now.
Officially. I think we keep forgetting.
No, I definitely keep forgetting. But I'm soon not going to be forgetting. So I'm soon going to be starting to introduce myself as hi, I'm Afsa, I'm a podcaster. Anyways, so today's episode is Grieving the Good Girl. Shame, respectability, politics, and reclaiming your life. It's going to be a very interesting one because Liz is a firstborn daughter. I'm a firstborn-ish daughter.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, welcome to She Knows Best. It's not therapy.
But it might help. So, getting in, check in. My week.
This is so funny because when we put up the episode, it's like a couple of weeks after. So when I watch it, I'll be like, but that wasn't what you did last week.
Anyway.
But you see, it's because we love you and we record the podcasts before. So that we make sure that you have the episodes.
The content.
But anyways, my week's been fine. It's been pretty chill. A lot of admin work. I haven't had any production, any events, any big events, big film content production things to do. But we hosted a creator event on Sunday with Clone Me Studios.
Yeah. Which was really fun.
Yeah,
it was a really fun one. Yeah, it was a really good one.
It was a really good one. Funny thing is, like, I've been plotting this event for maybe a year.
Yeah.
And then even with the team, like, we've been talking about it back and forth. It's just been a lot of back and forth. And then finally it happened. Yeah. And it's just so great to see something that you thought about and then you
come into life.
You get and then you execute it and it comes to life and everyone was so happy. The feedback was so great on the ground. Even online, the feedback was great. So it's a good start to the week. It's a good feeling. Like it puts some pep in my step. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Maybe we know what we're doing.
You really know what you're doing. I mean, you've been in this industry. I keep dipping in and out. I'm a lazy creative. But like you really know what you're doing.
It's so good. It's so good to just see things come to life. And also to see people enjoy concepts that you've come up with and also even to see just the team, like just
the team cohesion was really good.
Team cohesion and everyone loved what they were doing. You could see also them, like, I think I could also tell when like it clicked.
Yeah.
Especially for what Clone Me Studios represents and what it's about, and in that space for everyone it finally clicked and it's like, oh my God, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And this is what we're part of, this is what we're creating, this is what we're building. And it's just so nice for me to even step back and just let the team curate and build the event and watch everything happen and execute. It was a good time. I loved it. So it started off my weeks in such a great way. So that's how I've been. It's been a good one. Yeah. And you, how have you been? What's happening?
To be fair, like that was also one of my like highlights, I think, of the week. Like I said, I'm a lazy creative. So like getting back into this space now, I mean, like with the podcast and with the Clone Me Studios, being in that space and like connecting with other creators was very kind of like empowering, and like it was a very enriching experience. Yeah, like even with the team cohesion, the way we worked together, but also for me, like I said, as someone who's been in and out of the industry, just taking a step back and like observing and getting to know people and hearing ideas. I think in other spaces, in the other work that I do, I enter the room and like I'm like kind of like an authority, and then you don't do a lot of learning when you're and when people are 100%. Looking at you to find solutions or answers. But now here it was like I'm looking at you like, okay, after like and
how are we moving?
Yeah, like all the other team members, but also like how we had the back and forth with like all the other team members and saying, maybe we should do this, or like how can we improve the experience next time, but also just listening to like the other creators and the wonderful ideas that they have.
Wow.
And like how like they're very out of the box thinking was like, it was really, really amazing. So I really enjoyed that.
Meanwhile, the event that we're talking about is called Let's Get Coffee. It's curated by Clone Me Studios. It's meant to be a creator event. We're trying to create like a creator community where people can come and collaborate and create together. Just like, brew connections. Brew connections with each other, but also just to like create a safe space for creatives, because whether we like it or not is that it's like it might not even be just the creator industry, but like being in your industry can get lonely. Because again, because it's work, right? But then in your everyday life with your friends, not many people understand or know what you're going through or can relate. So it's nice to just spend some leisure time with like-minded people where you can share ideas and like you bounce off of them, bounce off each other. Because in a normal world, like I would want to bounce my ideas off of some of my friends, but they wouldn't get it.
They wouldn't get it. Even
if they wanted to, because my friends are super supportive, but even the advice that they're going to give, it's going to be great, it's going to be encouraging, but they're not going to like properly critique.
Is it feasible?
Does it make sense? How are you going to execute it? But being in a space and a community like this, then you get access to these people. And also just people that you can work with, people that you can create and connect with, because again, if you're in your own little bubble, and then you come into the industry to work and then dip out, it's very difficult to make those lasting connections. But the community, the Let's Get Coffee community, is meant to allow us and give you access to these things. So follow Clone Me Studios and
for updates.
And if you're a creator, follow us, because we're going to do the Let's Get Coffee events more often. Some are going to be very we're going to share the dates, but others might be pop-ups. Depending on who is in town, again, because we have all this access. So there's a lot, we have a lot planned for sure. So just join the page.
Join the page and just look out for we'll share information on how you can join the community and receive direct updates and information from us regarding Let's Grab Coffee and the Let's Get Coffee and the Clone Me community. I keep saying that because there's another podcast. I have a friend who has a podcast called Let's Grab a Coffee. Exactly. So
No, it's fine. Like we'll become also popular enough for people to confuse us with another. Okay, so Grieving the Good Girl. Tell us what's this about? What are we talking? Break it down for us.
So, I mean, we're just going to look at things like, this invisible grief around, the good girl complex, or the idea of the good girl that we're sold from when we're young, especially in like our African context. Like growing up, you're told, go to school, get an education, and then, be a good girl in all manner of ways, or whatever we understand as being a good girl. Don't ruffle any feathers, go to school, keep your head down. After school, find a husband. Actually, the husband will find you,
of course, because you are a good girl. You did everything you
did everything you are supposed to. And then, get a job, have your children and, your family, look after your extended family and be a caregiver and all of that.
And everything will be great.
And everything will be perfect. Like you'll live in this utopia and everything will be, wonderful, and yet that's not the reality of life.
Yeah, I think so. This is a very, because of course I understand that, but a part of me feels like wants to ask, who started selling this? Okay, I mean, we know already. Is that what?
The patriarchy.
But before, like that we know 100%, we know that. But my thing is, did it ever work for anyone? Because if you think about it, like I think a couple of episodes back, we talked about, again, I think it was something to do, again, also with being the good girl or being the good person, or being the good child and following what
the script,
right?
Yeah. And
my question is, like, did it work for our mothers? Did it work for our grandfathers? Did it work for anyone? It has to have worked for someone, surely. If it's something that we've continuously been told to do. Even now, you're still being told to do it. Yeah. So my first thinking is, did it ever work for someone? Because I don't know anyone that it worked for. Because with our grandmothers, maybe they didn't go to school, but they did get married. Yeah. They did have kids. The kids were not perfect. The husbands were stepping out on them. The husbands were beating on them. Yeah. So at what point do we be like, you know what? That's katwa.
I know.
You get it? Yeah. That's katwa. Like, can we stop?
Yeah, we need to release ourselves from from those ideas. But I think it was created as you said, in all things patriarchy, it was created to keep women in control, to keep women in line. This is the life that you should live. It should be of service and dedicated. Yeah, it should be of service, and you should dedicate your all to pleasing other people, taking care of other people, and just being of service to everyone else.
To be your
except yourself.
And you see, that's the problem, though. The accept yourself is actually what makes it even worse. Yeah. Because if you think about it, if they had sold it in a way of including yourself, maybe it would have made sense. No. But it's accept yourself. Yeah. But anyways, so I think the good girl, we can give an example of the good girl. Maybe she went to school, grew up with her family. They promised her. They told her she went to school, maybe got 7 out of 7. Is it 4? 4 out of 4?
I don't even know how they count it anymore.
Anyway, past primary school, went to the right secondary school, probably Namagunga or Gayaza or whatever, one of like the most prestigious schools. Yeah. Preferably a girls' school, because the more isolated you are from men to keep you pure, the more prestigious it was for a girl. Yeah. And then after that, you've gone to university, you've done whatever course that they're supposed to do. Yeah. You've got out of university, you've come out with a boyfriend, you're getting married, you've had the babies. So what exactly in all of this is the reward? Because there has to be a reward, there has to be a reward to this. And I think the grieving, that's where the grieving part comes in, because you're not because one, I think you start to wonder, okay, what was it all for? Yeah. What was it all for? Okay, fine. I've followed the script. I've done everything. What was it all for? Yeah. But I think there's also the other person that grieves. Yeah. Is the other one who they're doing all the right things, and the thing that maybe they're supposed to get, they're not getting.
The supposed reward.
So maybe it's the reward. Maybe it's the husband, because they're telling you, okay, if you're a good girl, but that was all the reward, you don't talk to the boys, then you're going to get a husband. But then all the quote unquote the ones that are not good girls, the hoes or the sluts or the whatever, the ones who are freer, the girls who are doing their own thing, they're also getting married, because what they've told us is the ones, you have to be a good girl, you have to keep yourself for the guys to want you,
to pick you,
but they're not picking you, they're picking the other girl. So now that's where I think now you start to crash out. Yeah. Because what's happening? What's going on? Have I not followed the script?
And yet the only reward in that whole situation, in that entire script that many girls have been given, is the reward is being picked by the right man. Right, that's the only reward.
But you see,
we were not given that. We were not
given any other reward.
There was no other.
But
reward.
You see why that is a lie.
In that equation,
the only reward was a man. Yeah. But you see now why we need to get away from that reward, because, and I need all the girls to hear me out. The only time a man was a prize was the time when you couldn't buy land, when you couldn't own a bank account, when you couldn't leave your mother's house or your father's house without being married. In 2025, in 2025, you can own the bank account. You can buy the land. Okay, there are some places actually in Uganda where you can't buy the land if the man hasn't signed. But you can buy the land.
But legally speaking, you can.
Yes. No, legally speaking, you can. Of course, they'll think it. But legally speaking, you can have the bank account. You can have the money. You can have all the things. So tell me, what is the reason for the man? Again, why is the right, quote unquote, right man the price?
The price, yeah.
Why is that the reward? What are you looking for? Because you can have those things now. My grandmother couldn't have those things.
Yeah.
You get maybe then you can convince her that, you know what?
Yeah.
If you're good, if you're a good girl, then this great guy, this great man will pick you. Okay, fine, maybe her. But even then.
Yeah.
But now, what is the price?
Yeah.
Is it suffering? Is it washing dishes? Is it looking after a man that's a child? What is the price? What are you fighting
There's really
for?
no prizes. That's the thing. We've gotten to a point, and there's the understanding that actually there's really no prizes. There's really no reward in this life for being the supposed good girl. Everything that we've been sold, and that's where the grief comes from. Everything that we've been sold and told, there's actually no reward and there's no prize.
Yeah.
And many young women are now grieving that, because like the you've been told that the guys are not the ones who should be picking you, and even not
they're
there.
not picking. First of all, they're not there. Also, they're not worth being the ones to pick you.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, you guys,
most of you are the prize. That's the thing. That's a problem.
Exactly.
Most of the girls are the prize.
Why? Like, you get. First of all, you're there. You guys, we've suffered.
We've
like,
really
you're
suffered.
there. You're fighting for someone to pick you. The person that you're fighting to pick you doesn't own a car, doesn't have a driving license. What are you doing?
Hasn't finished their
education. You get, like, you probably, as a woman, as a girl, you probably have like 4 degrees.
Most of them are Mawanja Gaba Tuga. That's why I keep saying.
They're putting you, the price is taking you. You've left your mother's house, your father's house that's like a maybe 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house. You've gone with that price to a 1-bedroom house.
To a muzigo.
You get what, like, the thing is, I hate the fact that the end goal, the prize of it all, of being a good girl, is being chosen by a man. Because it's not, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. It's such a,
okay, promise me something else. Promise me money. You get, promise, because you see, even for the guy, like, to be fair, like, if you think about it, the good guy or the perfect, like, the script for a guy ends in money. Because you're going to get the right job, you're going to create the businesses.
Everything,
it's not that you're going to get the right wife.
No.
Whether he's a bum, whether he's not, he's expected to find a wife.
Yeah, they have this.
He's expected.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a worry.
For them,
their prize is, if you study, if you do all these things, you're going to go to work. It's monetary compensation. Yeah. Why can't it be monetary compensation for
That's
me?
That's why we need to change our thinking and our mindset and I mean, there's other types of grief in that context of, like, the good girl and other things. Of course, there's other there are people who are grieving other things within that script, right? Like, you are told to go to school and you'll get the right job, and people haven't. That job is not there, or you've not been able to fulfill your career dreams and goals. So that's also grief in and of itself.
Yeah.
Or there's some people who have gotten married, they've even found the right marriage or companion for them or whatever, and they fail to have children, right? And yet they were told, if you remain pure or whatever, I don't believe in this. Yeah. Whatever you are told, that you will have children. And then the girl, like you said, the girl is who have been outside.
They are having a good time. They are being chosen. First of all, you've lived your life. Then you've gotten chosen. And then you get, like,
you're having the 5 children.
You're having the 5 children, like, back to back, by the way. Back to back. No complications. You're having the kids. The guy that has married you probably loves you to death.
Yeah.
It's actually a good marriage.
Yeah.
And man, I can't even imagine going through that grieving process, because I mean, that's where you become haters.
Yeah.
That's where now you have all these girls who are haters, who are just now calling people names and doing all these things. But it's just, man, it's so sad. It's so sad that, like, we have to go through such processes and thingy, because you guys, a man cannot be a prize.
I was talking to a friend.
A man cannot be a prize.
I was talking to a friend from India. Was it? Yeah, from India. And they were telling me that the reason, like, so families will over-educate a girl and they have to do things like medicine or engineering or whatever. But do you know what it's for? To increase their
worth.
Yeah. So that they can get, so that they when they
are
get
more
married,
valuable.
Yeah, when they're more valuable for marriage.
You guys, it's like fattening up a cow.
It's like
fattening up a cow. And you fatten it up so that
not for a career.
At the end of the day, you can sell it for more money.
It's not for a career.
Not for a career. You guys.
But to be chosen.
To be chosen.
Yeah, so it's happening in a lot of those countries in that region. Yeah. Those South Asian countries. Yeah. So like it's a real thing. It's a very real thing.
No, but like I think we definitely need to find a way to break that cycle. We need to find a way to break the cycle that is the good girl cycle. Also, the cycle that is put on us by society, where they've convinced us that this is how you have to be. And I know that we don't live in what's the word? Where it's not a vacuum. Like you don't live in a world where you can't be affected by everything around you.
Yeah, it's a vacuum. Yeah.
It's a vacuum. Like we don't live in a vacuum where you can just be like, I'm going to shut out everything. No, it's not feasible, it's not practical.
Yeah.
But I think just think about you and what you want and all the things. Because also the thing is with that good girl syndrome is you will never be a good girl. You will never be a perfectly good girl. And that's what you need to remember. Is you can be. It keeps moving. That goalpost keeps moving. Because the thing is, you will do all the right things. And then maybe in university, you get pregnant.
And then everything.
That you did before. You get
shattered.
You get all shattered whenever you say everything on people will forget.
In the mud.
All
the effort
that you put, the degree, maybe the accolades, the school, everything that you did, now doesn't count because you got pregnant. Because you made that one mistake. So it will never ever be enough. So, and I think that's why we need to release ourselves from it, because one, the goalpost keeps shifting, but also no one is 100% perfect, and it will all come to crumble at some point. It could even be that not even that you get pregnant. It could be that you get married, everything happens, and then you can't have babies.
Yeah.
And now you're useless. There's no you're not good. You get like
people even start suspecting you of
people
things
start suspecting you. Oh, she did this when she was young. That's why. Or she did this. She did that.
Yeah.
Everything. Meanwhile,
they'll even blame you for using birth control.
Meanwhile, the reason you are using birth control is so that you can get married, have babies when you're married. So it will never be enough. So you have to release yourself from it, because otherwise you're going to run mad. You're going to run mad trying to keep up with society's rules and society's laws, because everything keeps changing according to what benefits the patriarchy at that point in time. At that point in time. Because now it was, you have to be a virgin, you have to be this. Yeah. But now they're like, they want you experienced. So which is it?
Auntie, they said that the musicians told them a lady in the streets and
is African that shit. African that shit. You get. So what is it? You choose. Which is it? Do you want her experience? Do you want her not experience? Which is it? Again, you need. But that's the thing. They can't decide because it works according to what benefits them in that point in time.
Yeah.
So unless you're going to just keep wiggy wagga at some point and. Wiggy wagga until.
But then what about the anxiety? Like that's the problem. Like,
of course,
constantly living in a state of fear. That's what ends up happening. The girls are living in a constant state of fear and anxiety. Every stage of life is a crisis. It becomes a crisis. And that's the problem. Because we've been there. Like, we have been there. Like,
every single
it's something
stage
that we're still encountering. But because of, like, the expectations that are placed on us by society. Yeah. So at every stage of life, it's about, I think you get to a point and you check yourself. And then you say, is it really that serious? You're the one who has to keep checking yourself. But the anxiety...
of course. But that's the thing. Of course, you have to live with anxiety, Liz, because if you're living in a perpetual state of I need to be perfect, because even you deep down inside of you, you know you'll never be perfect and you'll never be enough.
Yeah,
you'll never be enough, and that's something that we're going. If we continue to try and follow this script that was set for us to be good girls and to be perfect and to be all these things, you will continue. You will never ever feel enough because again, like we said, if the goalpost keeps shifting, When will you reach there? If the finish line keeps shifting for that good girl, when honor to
Coyote, like
because there's no end to it. So and that's where the anxiety comes in, because you're trying to always keep up. There's all these new things, and then there's on top of that now, of course, there's like the beauty standards.
Yeah,
you get like because even in that script, it's not just about you doing the right things; it's you looking the part.
Yeah,
you get. I can't go out looking like this.
The wig
has to be like this. The hair has to be like this. You can't afford the wig. The nails have to be a certain way. You get all those things cost money. And then remember, you're the good girl, so toso asente. So which means you have to spend your own money. But at work, they are paying you about how much? Peanuts. Because again, you get like, so there is so much
in Uganda is like 800K.
You get how much? That's even a good wig doesn't even cost 800K.
Man.
You get, so that's the thing, like there is, you will never ever be enough.
Yeah.
And and that anxiety is going to be there.
Yeah. And then in the long run, it also breeds resentment, because now that's why you're hearing a lot of older women saying, you should live your life. I wish I hadn't, tried to fit in other people's, in someone else's box, so their definition of me or whatever. Because they get to the point, many women get to their to midlife or towards the end of their lives, and they regret everything. They're like,
you get, like you went, you lived with perpetual anxiety all of your life, but to do everywhere you go. There is no peace in your life, because you have to be perfect for this person. Because remember, you have to be perfect at work, you have to be a perfect wife, you have to be a perfect sister, you have to be a perfect mother.
Yeah.
You have to be a perfect child.
Yeah.
At what point are you allowed to just make mistakes and just be?
No, the mistakes are not allowed.
They're not. They're not allowed in this situation. So I think that's, and I feel like also like a lot of the grieving also happens in that age, like the older women where they are like,
my whole life has gone.
It has gone, and now what?
Yeah.
What is that for it?
Yeah.
Like what is that show for it?
Yeah.
You think about all the mistakes that you could have made, or that you made, and at that point you are like, oh my God, my life is done.
Yeah.
It's finished.
Yeah, this morning when I told you about the Trevor Noah podcast I was watching, and the episode was on this whole trad wife idea. So they were saying, the Trevor Noah was saying, this trad wife thing seems like it's a good, it's a great concept. I mean, you're just living at home. Yeah. So Christina, his co-host, was telling him the problem with this idea of living in a box and being the trad wife is it never ends. You know, there's no retirement.
Of course,
there's no retirement.
By the way,
there's no retirement.
Actually,
plan.
now that you think about it, at least with corporates, at some point you're like, yeah, I'm done.
But there's no retirement plan. And that's a problem with some of these ideas, and that we are told that is such a great thing, is there's no retirement. You're not going to tap out and say parks. It's, first of all, it's a 24-hour job.
Yeah.
And then there's no retirement. You can't go into retirement. Like, so imagine when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's
a forever job.
It's terrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a forever job.
And yet, the girlies are telling us, the stay-at-home moms, the trad wives, that it's so nice, it's so perfect, it's so wonderful. It's horrible.
It's horrible. At what point does it stop?
Yeah, imagine being like, you're just there living your life, pack a kingdom cup. At least like
that you're just taking care of people. All, like for you, that's your life.
You don't have nothing for yourself. You have nothing for yourself. You retire, you don't even, at least that one, you don't even have a pension. You see in corporate, you have a pension. You retire and go to NSSF and collect your money. But here, you don't even have a pension. What do you have? And that's a problem. And that's a problem with these ideas that put many women in this good girl, this box, or whatever framework has been created.
The thing is, for me, I keep going back to the fact that you guys, the only reward is marriage.
Yeah.
There is no other actual reward, because if you think about it as a good girl, the reward will never be that.
Oh my,
heaven.
Okay, and
maybe heaven.
But that's when you've died. So like in this life,
the only reward,
the only one of God.
It's not, because if you think about it, even the career woman is not a good girl.
No,
she's not following the script that was written for
those
her.
ones, they say she's a bitch. She neglected her family. She's
not doing her duty as a woman on earth to procreate.
Yeah.
Wow, guys. Anyway, but so I think that's the thing. Like, I think we need to let go of that and just believe that, you know what, it's never going to be enough. You're never going to be enough. Yeah. And if you're never going to be enough, why even try? You get, if you're not going to get, if you're not going to get to the end, if there's no finish line, why start it in the first place? Yeah. Because you can't be in a chase and a race for the rest of your life trying to chase something, this idea, because it's an idea. It's nothing tangible. It's an idea. It's not real. You can't, you guys. Anyway, but by the way,
but like
that realization has
blown your mind. Yeah, but then there's like issues also around like shame, because they tell you the good girl is the one who keeps herself until marriage, no children, no what. So for many, grief, the grief for many girls who are grieving, there's also this shame attached to it, right? For example, like for me, in my instance, I had a kid when I was pretty young. So that, by most people's standards, it's considered shameful. Like, who's you people even tell you, the first thing people say is, who is going to marry you? Please, I beg.
Can you imagine?
Do you know this is 20?
Can you imagine that being a threat?
Yeah, it's a threat.
Who is going to marry you?
It's a threat. And I'm just like, by the way, the person who can't marry me with a child, that's not the person that I want. That's
the person you're looking for. Also, what kind of nonsense is that in this millennium?
Yeah, but there's also a lot of shame attached to being a bad girl, or you've not followed the script, or you're not a good girl. And people are struggling with those things, like that shame. Yeah. And it kind of like hinders or limits their full potential or what they could truly be.
100%.
Or just, what they could truly be in terms of, like success in life. Yeah. But also just how they go about their life, how they live their life. Yeah, because
I mean, of course, if you're trying to be a good girl, if you're trying to follow a script, you're never going to take risks. Yeah. You're never going to try something that is risky or something that is outside of the norm. You get, because, for example, it's something as simple as the good girl is probably the girl that's going to stay home. That's going to stay home in her parents' home and never move out, right?
True. That's also a thing.
That person's probably not going to experience life outside of the house, or if they're not, life outside of being with their family. Yeah. You get, so they're never going to be able to live with other people, like live alone by themselves, learn to live by themselves, learn to make decisions on their own. Because whether you like it or not, if you're living in your mother's house, a lot of the decisions that are going to be made, you're going to make them together, you and her. Yeah, you get, so that independence that that probably would have allowed you to grow and make all these mistakes. Again, mistakes, you guys, mistakes are very key. You won't make them. So how is it? So are you really going to be able to live your full potential if you're already held back in that way? And that holding back comes in so many different ways. It's not just staying at home. Even the job. Yeah. They're going to be like, because it's going to be, I wanted to be creative, or I wanted to be an actress. Yeah, but I became a dentist. But I became a dentist because that's what I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And then also you got married. Maybe I got married, or I got married, so my husband doesn't want me to be an actress. How are people how is my mother going to define my job?
My job, yeah. What are they going to say that I do?
What are they going to say that I do? To this day, my mother cannot tell you what I do. But she's very happy. With me. No, for her, that's not her problem.
No, same for me with my late father. He couldn't define what I do. I think my mom at least has a better understanding of the things I'm trying to do. Like that one, that's she's really in my corner. I think she understands. But my dad used to say, I call her bitch.
Yeah. But at that point, but he's like, what? But she's kawa.
She's kawa.
She's fine.
She's happy. She's figuring her life out and her way in life. She's kawa. Yeah. But there's a lot of careers and there's a lot of people who can't really explain to their parents what they do. But it also causes other things, because people lie that they have jobs that they don't have. That's that's the pressure, that anxiety. Kati, now you've started lying about a job that you don't have. Do you know how do you wake up every morning? You have to lie about that job. Yeah. Every single morning. Yeah. But it's just, you dress up and leave. If you're living in your parents' house, you dress up and leave. For them, they think you're going to work. Kumbe, you're just.
But at what point? So at what point does that grief kick in? Because the grief, I'm assuming, now kicks in at the point where you realize, oh my God, I was scammed. They lied to me. there is no real reward. I really shouldn't have been living my life for these people. I shouldn't have been living my life for this. So at what point does that grief kick in? Because, of course, I'm assuming most people go most of their lives still chasing that promise and that reward.
Yeah.
So,
for many people, it comes like much later in life when they realize that everything that these things are fleeting. Like, first of all, there's nothing that's permanent in this life. So when they reach the realization that there's nothing permanent and you can lose everything, for many people, that's like in their midlife. That's why people deal with midlife crisis and things like that. And you see a lot of women like reaching their 40s and their 50s and like pivoting, having and changing their entire careers and their identity and their lives. Like, it's a real thing. Unfortunately, for some women, it happens like much later in life, like, you know, when they're in their real old age and they're like, Kali, I've lived my life for other people and not myself. But for many girlies, like the millennial girls, thankfully they're seeing things a lot earlier. Like in their, like, I know for sure, like there's a lot of people that we know in their 30s and they're like,
what am I doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, do you know, my life is just going to go sweet. And I've not lived like for that, myself.
And I haven't lived for myself. I've just lived for other people. Yeah, I think, me honestly, and I hate that. Like, this is not advice, but like, if you can look deep down inside and you realize that the decisions that you're making, every decision, because imagine these people, like, you're the kind of person that's making decisions, and you're making decisions based on other people. So if you're deciding for a job, it's based on like how are my parents going to see this job? How are they going to perceive me? How are my parents' friends going to see it? Yeah. How is my husband? How maybe the person that I want to be with? How are they going to see it? If you find yourself making decisions and considering all these people, and I'm not saying be selfish and never consider anyone. I mean, if you're married, you're already in the things.
Yeah,
you get like there, you're already in the things. Consider that man. Consider your children. But if like grander decisions, like life-changing decisions, honestly, even that, be selfish about it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's your life. You're the one who has to live that life.
You're
the main character.
You're the protagonist in the story. Like, yeah.
So I think if you find yourself making decisions and you're like, and you have to question, am I making this decision for me or am I making it for other people? Please somehow always pick you if it's possible.
Yeah.
Always pick you, because there's no reward. There's no reward to
no real
sacrificing yourself for the good of the others.
Yeah. But also, like, I think it's important for us to recognize that we are conditioned to be like chronic people pleasers.
Yeah, that one, all of us. Even that one, I feel like even if it's not the good girl, all of us we've been there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, and yeah, like you, like freeing yourself from like
the people pleasing
or recovering from people pleasing. That's like also a job of its own, because
I think it's a very difficult one. But you know what they say, even Jesus could not please everyone. For you, who are you?
Yeah,
whom are you to think everyone is going to love you and everyone is going to
like you and back your decision?
It's not possible.
Yeah,
it is not possible, and that's why at the end of the day, make the decisions for you and maybe the people that mean the world to you. You get, which is, I'm assuming, is your kids and people and things like that. They are very few,
by the way.
And those people shouldn't be that many.
If you really sit and think down and think about it, the ones whose input really matters.
Yes,
they can never be more than five even many.
And those ones whose input actually matters, they will do what? They'll always support you
and back you
to choose you. They will always support you to choose you. Yeah. So for those whose input actually matters, let them beef you guys. It can't be a chikachona. You get since chikachona is in your business, they are making your decisions with you. Over how is Auntie Gundi? I remember when I started piercing my face. I remember the first thing my grandmother asked me. She was like, "What are you going to tell your aunties?"
What am I going to tell my aunties?
And I looked at her. I was living in her house. So my question was, for you, are you kawa? She's like, me, I'm fine. I said, no, we move. Because that's my only problem.
Yeah.
You whose house I'm living in. Because otherwise I don't have where to live.
And on top of that, the things are on my body.
They're on my exactly.
I'm an adult.
Exactly at that point. Anyway, so I think that's the thing of like everyone, whether you like it or not, at some point everyone is going to be in your business.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where even when I started getting more and more piercings, and the thing is, to be fair, when they saw me, they had nothing. Like they didn't have any input.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't think they've even ever actually said it to my face. I mean, of course, there's been like family members who like, oh yeah, like, did you see Afsa? My God, oh, what's wrong with Afsa? And the ones that actually matter, and this is what I'm saying, the ones that actually matter, the ones whose input actually matter, I'll be like,
yeah.
Is it your face?
Yeah.
Did she ask you for money to pierce her face?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now leave her alone.
Yeah.
You get, so that's the thing, like, when you, and me, to be fair, I created my brand in the family a long time ago. So I think also create that brand.
That this is really what I'm known for.
Where they know you're like, this one. So
first leave her.
Yeah. I do my own thing. I think I'm not disrespectful or anything, but also if like I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not being disrespectful. Of course, again, the baswaza in the worst way or whatever.
Yeah.
But you see, again, even when I'm talking about it, still I'm thinking about baswaza. You get, because again,
it's like so deeply ingrained in like who we are.
Whether we like it or not.
Everything.
Everything. So of course now you see, even now that we're having the conversation and it's still at the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But again, if you can, man, like Bambi, let's release ourselves. Let's release ourselves from these shackles of being good girls.
Yeah, but also like the funny thing is like and it's psychology says like the funny thing is and I think there's a quote, I've forgotten who it's by, like we suffer more in our minds than in reality, but also like other people are also doing their own thing. When we come to that realization, like we are not the main character in other people's lives, that they're there thinking about what we are doing.
I think what I'm always telling people this, I'm like, we all have an imaginary audience.
Yeah.
It's very imaginary.
Yeah.
So you're here and you're moving and you're thinking that people are seeing me. No one is seeing you.
No one is seeing you.
Because when you're walking in those streets, when you're out there, everyone has their problems. You are a to kubide. People have to pay employers.
Yeah.
People have children at home, and you think they are moving and they are looking at you.
Thinking about you. It's actually a concept called Sonda. Like getting to the realization that everyone is living as the main character in their story. So like they're not thinking about you, and like when you reach that you get into that realization and being able to observe people from that view, that everyone is living their own story. Like people are actually
like you need to release we need to first and foremost we need to release ourselves from the shackles, because it's you live in, even at work, you're there, you're like, my God, like what is this one going to say? What is this? Nothing. You guys, people have their own. People are dealing.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you and I are both thinking, like, I'm thinking, what are people going to think? She's thinking, what are people going to think? We don't realize that we are not looking at each other and being like,
yeah.
You get? So, of course, and we're not saying that judgments are not there, like people that judge. They're there. There are very many, but like, they're not enough for you to live your entire life
in a state of anxiety and fear.
Thank you.
Of what people are going to say, think, how they're going to perceive you. Yeah.
Like just release that imaginary audience, release it, let it go, start living now for you, and just realize that the same way you're not, of course, people are going to judge, and you know what? We've all judged once or twice.
Yeah.
You get, but it's not going to last a lifetime. You get, they're going to say what they need to say, and then tomorrow I'll say my things today. Tomorrow I'll go and deal with my other problems.
Or even the one they put in red paper today. By tomorrow there's a new story.
By tomorrow there's a new
hot one. Like that's the problem. There's a new hot one by tomorrow.
There's always something new.
There are new nudes tomorrow. Like those, it never lasts.
It never ever lasts again. Also because the goalposts are changing
and
every day. So don't hold yourself onto that.
Yeah, so like really breaking the cycle. So like we were just thinking about like how do you break that cycle of shame, and like how do you free yourself from the shackles of like this good girl complex? So idea, so that it doesn't have you in, so that it stops having us in a chokehold, you know, as the girl is. How do you free yourself from these ideas that we've been, you know, conditioned, and the ways in which we've been conditioned to be good girls?
I think the first thing is, I think what we've just said is, first thing is release the imaginary audience. Like, just stop thinking and assuming all the time that, because if you think about it, it's low-key also feeling like everything is about you. It's like, not everything is about you. Release the imaginary audience. And even if it's there, man, smile and wave. Smile and wave, because at the end of the day, there is no real reward. There's no finish line. There's no real reward. There's nothing tangible that comes from being a good girl. There's nothing tangible. There's nothing great that comes from never making mistakes or being perfect, or either, whether it's in the eyes of your employers, your family, your friends, anyone else, nothing good comes from that. The only thing the only real reward from that is anxiety. Yeah. Because you'll never be complete. You'll never be happy, because you're always chasing something that's not there. Yeah. And they need you. The patriarchy needs you to continue chasing that thing, because that's how they keep you in line. Yeah. That's how they keep you in line. That's how they keep you where they need you. That's where they convince you. That's where they convince you that marriage is the ultimate thing, because it's going to solve all your problems. Because the guy is going to be your protector, your provider. He's not going to be any of those things.
Truthfully,
he is never ever going to be any of those things. So don't release yourself from that, and don't let capitalism and the patriarchy be the things that are leading you, because those are the only two things, by the way, that those are the two institutions that gain from the good girl syndrome. Yeah. As a person, toilet of nam.
As my auntie says, very metallic.
You get you as a toilet of nam.
Nothing.
So the only two institutions that gain from that is the patriarchy, because now they have a good girl. They have a girl who's going to do the labor work, the emotional labor, the domestic labor, who is going to, prop up the man, and so that he can feel like, he's good. He has a good girl at home. Yeah. You get. And then, of course, the capitalism, because now they have free labor from you.
Free labor. Imagine. Like, for me, that thing kills me. The fact that, the realization that we are constantly doing free labor. And when you quantify it and try to equate, like, its value, like, its monetary value, like, do you know we're slave
trade.
We're still slavery.
We are in slavery.
My God.
Slave. In America. Now it's here.
That
all of
will
us.
Be a topic for another day. But wow.
So yes, I think that's how we break the cycle, really, is we just I think start by releasing yourself from that.
Yeah, mentally.
Mentally is just realizing that
there is no end goal. There's no the goalpost that they told you. That goalpost keeps shifting and shifting, and
it will always shift. Actually, it's not even shifting more further and further. It can even go here. It goes here, because today what they want is a freak in the sheets. The next day they want a good girl in the streets. Then the next day
they want a wife and a
mother. Then the next day they want why don't you work? Why don't you work? What do you bring to the table? Then the next day they want you to stay at home. When does it
end? There's no end in sight.
There's no end in sight, because it will always change according to what they want and what they need. I imagine you're in that chase until the day that you die.
Until you die. Literally, until you die.
Please release yourselves. Let's release ourselves.
Yeah. And we also need to think about, like, this idea, like, I keep telling myself now, I don't want to betray myself, like, as a person. Okay. So when I'm making a decision, I keep saying, like, I don't want to betray myself. Like,
you don't want to make a decision that is against you, because that's betraying yourself.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to make a decision that's against me, that's based on what other people are saying, but it doesn't sit right for me. Like, for me, that's self-betrayal. Yeah. And I think that's something that we all need to think about.
100%.
Yeah, like...
Actually, I think that's the most important thing, is what does the decision that you've made, what does it do for you?
Yeah. How does it make me feel?
How does it make you feel?
First of all, yeah.
Where do you stand in the priorities for that decision being made? You get, because you're making a decision and maybe you're like, oh yeah, it's going to make so and so happy, this. But okay, in the people that benefit from that decisions,
where are you in the ranking?
In the ranking, you get, if you're making investments, even if you're getting married, to be honest, like the person that you're marrying, is it the person that you want, or is it because my parents are going to be happy if this is the person that I'm ending up with?
Yeah.
Is that what makes you happy? Is that you get, like, again, like you said, don't betray yourself.
Yeah. But also, like, we keep looking for external validation. Like like I keep saying, like, we've talked about
external validation.
We've talked about like the ranking, like where do I rank in this decision making? But also, I think it's also important to get to a point. Like, this is something I used to suffer from. Like, maybe it comes from people pleasing as well. I used to run my decisions by people. Like, I want to do this thing.
Hey, what do you think?
What do you think I should do? And then I would stall on like decision making because I have to consult with the committee, until I realized, but the committee, I also have a committee. The committee is here. And we are many here, by the way. So I also have my internal committee. I also have a board of directors. An
internal board.
So I need to, until I realized, but why don't you first sit with your board of directors, you here. You call them for a meeting. You call yourself for a meeting.
And because that board of directors is the one that knows what you want and what you need. Everyone else doesn't. Because to be honest, all of us will, even if we give you advice, we're going to give you advice from our perspective, from our needs and our things that we think. But I think that's actually true. Like that external validation, which is, if you think about it, the whole premise of the good girl syndrome is that you want people to accept you, people to be happy with you, society to be happy with you, society to see you in a certain way. And if that, and now it's even worse, by the way, if you think about it, because of social media.
Yeah.
Like now it's not just your family or your colleagues or your people around you. It's now social media. It's how now, outside of even just like you doing the good girl things, and now there's also that pressure of, okay, did I get my reward? I need to show people that I got my reward. I did the right things and I got my reward. And now that's when you're lying about your job, about the things that you do. You're living beyond your means. You're doing all these things. So I think also external validation is something that we need. And again, these things are easier said than done.
That's true. It's easier said.
So much easier said than done, because all of us, whether we like it or not, we seek that external validation,
in some shape or form.
Some shape, way, or form, somehow. But I think what you just need to do is just be very conscious about it. Because
how much do other people's opinions or the outside world define you as a person? Yeah.
Yes. So once you figure that out, or even once you're conscious of that, then it's easier for you to make better decisions, or even to be conscious of the decisions that you make and catch yourself sometimes. Like you, hopefully, inshallah, when you're making your next decision, you'll be like, wait.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. This is not for me, actually.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. Like, yeah, it's important to make decisions for yourself. When I decided to move to my other home now, do you know what happened? I found I started searching the city. I'm like, I've been wanting to move to a European city. I'm like, did a bit of research on that city, found the program that I wanted to do, and I just told my family I'm moving. They said, who do you know there? You don't even have one relative there.
Exactly.
I said, I don't have. Do you know? Do you have friends there? I said, no, but I'm going. And they said, are you sure? What do you know about that place? You've never been to that city. I said, indeed, I've never been to that city. But that's the point. Everything that you've said, that's the point. And like when I made that decision, like for me, that decision was so empowering, and among a few others that I've made lately. But also this ability to step outside of the norm or the mold started happening like here in my 30s. Like to be able to make those decisions without saying, what do you think? How do you think I should go about this? I said, no, everything, I'm the one who is making this decision.
It is me.
It is I and it is me, because this is at the end of that day, this is my life.
You're the one who has to live it.
And I'm the one who will have to endure it if it turns out miserable, right?
At least it will be your decision.
At least let me be miserable with the decisions I've made for myself, not miserable with the decisions people have made for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who knows myself, and I will have to live with myself and those decisions. Yeah, so I think it starts with like small steps like that, like releasing yourself from that validation and always seeking like people's blessings or opinions on your life.
No, definitely. Just release that group chat, the one that is always making decisions for you. Release it now. But so I think that's the first way, is just be conscious of it. Like now you see, for example, like now when you made that decision, like it was a conscious decision of I'm not going to get validation from anyone else. So once we start to be conscious of the decisions and the things that we do, also how we move, again, it's easier said than done. But if you're just conscious of it and you're like, okay, I actually do seek validation from outside, or I make a lot of my decisions with other people, then you now pull that back, and then you're like, okay, fine, I need to change that.
But also like
then that helps. I think that helps. It's a small step, but it helps, because then I think now that will think it from maybe the first step that you make is even just your dress. When you're going out with your girlfriends, ask for the dress code. Don't ask them for what you're wearing. You get stuff like that. Like just start small like that, and I think after that it grows into like now the big decisions of now you're moving to whatever country you're moving, and you're like, I'm not even going to ask people. I'm just going.
And like another thing that I've been working on with my therapist lately for like the past 2 years is learning to trust yourself, and I think that's something that because of how we've been raised and conditioned, the trust has been taken away from us and handed to everyone else. So like being able to trust yourself again is a process. It's such a lengthy process. Like what does it mean for me to trust myself? How does trusting myself feel? What does it feel like even in my body? How does that trust feel like in my body? To say that I know I'm making the right decision, and how does that make you feel? And even when you're making the wrong decision, how can you recognize within your body and like the feelings that your body generates,
like how your body reacts.
Like that's where all of these things like
you get hives.
Because the funny thing is our bodies know what's best for us. Like because we know what's best for us, our bodies and our minds, because everything is so interconnected, your body will tell you that you're fucking up. But because we don't listen to ourselves, we don't listen to our bodies, we don't have that trust in ourselves to make decisions about our lives. We fail to listen to our bodies and what our bodies, but also what your environment is telling you about that decision, right? So like that's something I've been aggressively working on. Like how do I learn to trust myself when like that trust has been like embedded or in other people, it's other people who I've trusted to lead my life for me, right? So like that's I feel like that's another thing.
No, definitely. And I think if you think about it, if you think about like the whole good girl syndrome, is there was no space for you to trust yourself in the first place. There was no space for you to make decisions for yourself or to understand what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, who you are, who you aren't. Because again, our lives have been scripted from the beginning. The schools that you're supposed to go to, the ones that make you good, the jobs that you're supposed to do, the ones that are for the good girl, the relationships, the kinds of relationships you're supposed to be in. So there's no space for you to at any point in time trust yourself and know who you are. So I think those are again things that you need. I think first maybe take time to grieve that person and be like, you know what, that person is gone. They're not here, and that person is gone, and maybe release them first. Release them and realize that, you know what, they lied to me. Like when those emotions that you go through when someone has lied to you and you feel betrayed, I think go through them. And then after that, now start to discover yourself and start to learn who you are. And again, now things like that, like start to feel like, understand what does my body feel like when I'm angry, when I'm happy, when I'm making the right decisions, when I'm anxious, when I'm these things. And then start making those and then start listening to yourself. To yourself, remove all the outside things. Then after that, now you start making decisions by yourself and things that make you happy according to how you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's why you start wearing what you want to wear, do your hair the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
Do all these things, like remove that imaginary audience, but also that immediate audience as well that you're doing these things for.
Yeah.
Your friends, your family, all these things.
Yeah.
And just figure out a way to do things that just make you happy. Because in that thing, you'll figure out yourself, you'll figure out your style, you'll figure out your interests, your hobbies, even your career path. By the way, you might even be 40 at that point. Tomorrow, like, when you after you listening to this podcast, and you're like, you know what? This is not the life I want.
Yeah.
And you start afresh, and no one can tell you anything.
Yeah. Okay, quick one. A dilemma. I'm 32, the eldest daughter, and I've basically raised my siblings. I've supported my parents financially, but now I want to move to another city and focus on my career. My family says it's selfish. Am I wrong for wanting to live for myself now?
No.
Go.
No. There's never any time or point that where you're wrong for living yourself.
Yeah.
Like, go live your life.
Yeah.
Again, it's your life. You're the only one who can live that life. No one else can live it for you.
Yeah.
And again, when you're whatever age you are later on, because now, of course, you've started to realize that you want to live for yourself.
Yeah.
It's so sad when you don't do it, and then 20 years from now, you're like, oh my God, maybe I should have done it.
Yeah.
You get. So since already the epiphany is there, the need is there, the want is there, do it.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, do it.
Yeah. And I think we also need to learn, like, she said something, is it selfish? And no, my parents think it's selfish, or is it selfish? I think we need to learn how to be selfish.
Please, always be selfish.
As
guys,
girls, we
as
need
girls,
to learn
please
to
be
be
selfish,
selfish.
because there is no a more selfish person than a man. A man will always do what's good for them, what benefits them.
True.
And so do the same. I think, anyway, when you're moving in this world, move like a man.
With the audacity
of a man.
Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of She Knows Best. It's always fun chatting with you guys. Please share your feedback in our DMs, She Knows Best podcast.
Also the comments as well.
Yeah.
She Knows Best pod on the comments, the YouTube channel, everywhere. Wherever you listen to, just leave a comment. Let's chat. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Tell us your experiences. Have you gotten the epiphany? Are you still living in the good girl syndrome? Are you still chasing that wild dream that they've promised us? If yes, tell us why or how, or if you even want to leave it alone, or has it benefited you? Maybe there's a reward that we don't know about
yet.
So tell us. Tell us about it.
You can also tell us. Yeah. But thanks again, guys, and see you next week.
Also, always remember, it's not therapy,
but it might help,
because
she knows best.